Hey, my name's Larissa, or the Ennio Witch. Welcome to my channel. If you are coming here from Cheat Codes to the Matrix, I just wanted to create a separation because I want to do a lot more of these Enneascope videos, Enneagram tarot readings, and I don't want it to take away from the self-work related content that I post on there. So I'm just going to keep this separate and subscribe because I'll be updating this quite frequently, more than what I have been on my other channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do pathway to growth for December for each of the types. And this is just a prompt, a suggestion, what might come up for you thematically, something that you could, maybe you're blind to, that you could put a spotlight on, or something that maybe you already feel inside. And this is like your nudge from the universe to address it. One for type one's already popping out. If you want to book a one-to-one with me, or get typed, so you can get a tarot reading or get typed or do both, you can click below. I also have a bunch of courses on my website. Okay, let's just roll with what's coming up for type one. For pathway to growth. So we have Eight of Cups, Four of Swords, and Ace of Pentacles. So in this particular deck that I'm using, which is kind of actually, this is like a very decadent 80s splashy kind of dynasty, very gay looking deck, but these are like, these are not very splashy cards, if you will. So you don't get the fun cards this month, type one. But so for you, we have the Eight of Cups. And usually he's walking, he's turned his back. He's turned his back on options. He's turned his back on his life, or he's like, you know what, I'm over whatever this thing is and I'm moving on. But not this one. This guy's almost like, he kind of almost looks like Jason Voorhees. Or wait, which is the one with the, is it, no, it's Michael Myers. He kind of almost looks like Michael Myers. And it's like he's just sort of sitting there blankly, like staring at the spilled milk and the cups, and he's just sort of pensively rubbing his hands like, where do we go from here? This could be speaking to frustration patterns where you are just literally focusing on what's not working and you're not willing to cut what's not working. It's like something that you could walk away from, but you are just ruminating on it. Or it's almost like if you're not actively ruminating, like if you don't have a six fix, you might not be ruminating, but you could be almost keeping it in your life as a frustration fuel. So I think that this card's like suggesting to you, what can you let go of that's annoying you, that you're literally just holding on to for frustration reasons? And that could be in your social instinct, your self-pres instinct, or your sexual instinct. So what do I mean by that? It's like maybe social instinct, maybe you have a friend that just is driving you crazy. They always have problems. You keep trying to fix them. They don't listen to you. The cycle happens every week. And it's just like you have to keep dealing with this person, especially with the cups. It could be related to relationships or emotions. Someone in your life could be lover, sibling, friend, family, whatever, coworkers, and you keep listening to them because he almost looks like just so defeated by life. Not this again. But maybe there's something that you literally can't walk away from, that you're just not, because if this keeps happening, so let's say you have a coworker who's always bitching at you about this, that, and the other, their problems, they don't change anything. Do you then go home to your spouse and bitch about it? Like, are you getting frustration chow out of it? Because if so, I mean, that card to me is suggesting it's time to let whatever that frustration fuel is go. And with the Four of Swords, this can be, peace of mind. So taking a break from whatever this is. And usually it's a guy by himself, napping, he's meditating, but this is a group of men chilling like villains with their swords out on their blankie, out on their rug. So I do think that this is like, this could be, we'll see what happens with the weekly readings, but I almost say it's like putting away your swords, but like if you have social engagements coming up because of the season, it's like putting away the swords. And I think in the way that it relates to this is like, if you know somebody is annoying you, stop engaging with them. And if you're with somebody that maybe you're overly critical of, maybe that's put the sword down. Give it a rest. Give it a rest trying to solve their problems. Maybe you can just act like if you have a wing nine, or you have a wing nine on either side. So maybe just numb the fuck out. Take a CBD gummy before you see this person if you can't avoid them. Because this does look like taking a break, but taking a break from maybe being critical with your sword here. And this one is like walking away from frustration fuel. And the Ace of Pentacles, well, this is a new portal. This is a new pathway in the realm of the 3D. So this could be job, home, finances, health. I'm gonna draw another card because it's, well, and then what? Because this is supposed to be a pathway to growth. Pathway to growth reading. How does that relate? A new pathway. Maybe it's like you clear out these things. You clear out these patterns, this frustration fuel pattern. You clear out, yeah. You clear out the criticisms. You put your sword away. You put your sword on a blanket and just chill. You just kick back, lay back, have a little good time. Have a little good time. Have a big good time. And then a new door opens for you in the 3D realm. I mean, that could be a new job. Like that could be a significant one, or it could just be your life just gets better because you're not bleeding energy with all of this stuff. And so then you have more time for something that you actually enjoy doing, like a hobby or working out, or I don't know. And yeah, it says like Eight of Wands. This picture is so hilarious. It's like some Karate Kid, Jackie Chan shit. It's like, yeah, getting after it. Yeah, so I think all that to say, I think it's like whatever's draining your energy, or like fucking up your, and this could be coming in the future if it's not already present, but it's like dealing with social situations differently, taking a back seat. And you know what I mean? So like it's not like ones are always outwardly critical, because depending on your fixes, you might not say anything, but you could be cutting yourself with that sword too. It could be like, and if you're feeling critical of another person, even if you don't say it, other people can still feel it, you know? And if you're being critical of somebody else, you're being critical of yourself too, because we don't really criticize other people for things that we don't criticize ourselves about. So if you're like being externally critical, you're being internally critical too, and vice versa. So put the sword down, put down the critical, whatever, walk away from any situations that are just draining your batteries and giving you, because frustration fuel isn't real fuel, right? It's like it's like loosh, for the demon overlords. You're not producing any fuel. It might give you like short bursts of energy, but you want the real energy, and the real energy comes from this card, the Eight of Wands. It's like he's channeling that inner fire, the passion, the magnificence, the desire. My camera's so bad at capturing these cards. I don't want to get a new one though. Gotta do my nails. But I almost feel like it's like letting go of these ways of being will lead to a new opportunity, a door opening in some area that you probably care about because of the wands. And then it's like something that you can like attack at full force because you haven't been slicing and dicing and draining your batteries and feeding the demon overlords with your special energy. So it's like, yeah, the path to growth. This is the path to growth, and then you get rewarded from it. You get your frustration treat. You get reanimated just in time for the new year. Perfect energy. Okay, type 1. That was your path to growth reading for December. Type 2, your path to growth reading for December. Whoop. It's popped out for one as well, and I just tried to put it back in the deck and it popped out again. So I'm going to leave it. So clearly there is, but it probably manifests for you differently, this card, the Four of Swords. So I'm just going to roll with it. Your path to growth, though, what you need to let go of, what you need to lean into, which of course you have free will, so you can take what resonates and leave what doesn't. These are general readings. Okay, I'll just see if there's one more. Do we want to make it symmetrical? Is there one more card? We got Four of Swords, King of Pentacles, and Two of Swords. It's interesting. That's kind of two rest cards. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, looks like you've got an exciting December, honey. Your path to growth will be rocky. I'm sorry to tell you. Okay. Well, it's that time of year, right? So let's just go through this. All right. Okay, so how I think the Four of Swords is showing up for you too is your sword that you're putting down to take a break, if you will. The sword is like, for twos, is like, I guess it would depend on your instincts, but it can show up as like over caring for other people. You know, do you need help with this? Are you okay? Is it too warm? Is it too cold? Is this, did you need whatever? How twos are. And it's saying put the sword away. Put the sword away. Take a break. Because this is what will keep you in the sword energy. This is what will keep you in action and movement, but you need to take a break. So how you get to take a break and just enjoy the holidays, if they're actual holidays or not, I don't know, is to put those away and stop caring about the needs of others and take a nice seat back. Chill with your homies without catering to your homies, if you will. And then we have the King of Pentacles, the Two of Swords. These two came out together. Yeah, and because it's like the swords again, and like these swords are to the side, and this is also sort of a rest card. The four of Swords is a bit of a rest card. Two of Swords is more of a meditation card. But she's also resting in this one. She's like she's actually put her swords to the side. So I want to say again, it's like putting aside the two-ish, you know, issues which are tending too much to the needs of others, because the thing is, like, you know, the sword, double-edged sword, right? It's like, if you're giving, you're also like, if you're giving too much and you're not replenishing your own reserves, then you're hurting yourself. So you might need a recharge by the end of this year. Like, you just might, it might have been a really rough year for you. I know it has been for at least a couple of twos that I'm aware of. It's been tiring. So I think like this energy is telling you take a break. Like, your path to growth is take a break. Okay, that's great. And King of Pentacles, how he's showing up, I think, is another person. So I think it's like allowing, you know, if you're a woman and you're watching this, obviously this would be like letting the man in your life, or letting male figures in your life tend to you, in the Pentacles realm, in the physical realm, taking care of your needs. If you're a two male, then it could be like letting a woman take on the role, the figure of the caretaker, taking care of business shit. I don't see this coming up as your energy. So I think that this is like allowing this person to come into the fore, or even asking them. I know twos don't like to do that, but yeah, there's a little Capricorn on the hill. Maybe it's a Capricorn, maybe it's not, but it could be like just giving up the reins of control. I know twos don't like identify with being controlling, but it might feel a little like, oh, but that's where I help, you know, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Take a break. The universe told you to. And then we have the Five of Swords and Five of Wands. And I think that I want to say that this is, I mean, this isn't supposed to be a predictive reading. This is supposed to be a path to growth reading. But I feel like this might be speaking to like what's been wearing you the fuck out, or what you need a break from. Obviously it's tending to other people, but like how it's showing, I'm almost tempted to read another card, but Five of Swords to me, okay, In this particular deck, so Five of Swords is like, winning at all costs, whatever. It's like, oh, you won the swords, but like now you have no friends kind of thing. But in this particular deck, it's almost like Nixium vibes to me for some reason, where it's like self-sacrifice without the reward. It's like you might have reached the end of the year and just realize like again, like you're spent. And it's like, oh my God, why did I gave and I gave and I gave and I did and I did and I did. I cleaned and I cooked and I served. And now I'm fucking dying here. And it's a desolate wasteland with fucking swords around me, puncturing my beautiful flowers. Oh, just take me, Jesus. Just take me, Satan. I think this is more speaking to like how you're feeling, not like this, not that this is your future. And the Five of Wands is conflict. So you could have been in conflict, or you could just be in the thick of somebody else's conflict, and depending on your fixes, like twos can really take on a lot of other people's stuff, especially if you have like a nine fix. Or if the sparring sort of in the realm that you care about, the people that you love. I mean, you could have been sparring with somebody, but I don't know. I'm feeling like outsider perspective looking at this. It's like maybe this is like your wand here that's been dropped already. It's like you're just kind of, it's like, you know what? Whatever this is, maybe it's just not for you to hold on to. Maybe this is for somebody else to figure out. This is someone else's problem. Any last little message for the twos watching the channel? Ooh, Queen of Wands. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, she looks like Elizabeth Taylor a little bit to me. Queen of Wands, you get your mojo back, yo. Queen of Wands, she's a sexy one. She's like an unconventional um hottie. She's kind of a sexual too, actually. She's got the passion. She smolders. She doesn't have to bake you cookies. She is the cookie. So I feel like this is like saying coming off rest and staying out of it, taking a step back, chilling the fuck out. You get your mojo back. You get your wand back. How Stella got her wand back. And you're feeling sexier than ever at the end of the year, is what I think, leading into 2024. Yeah. Yes, Queen. Path to growth for Enneagram 3 over the month of December. Three's favorite time of year. Oh, well, got Three of Pentacles. Looks like work. Are you still working in December? I mean, time doesn't stop, does it, Three? Oh, Two of Swords. But I think it might have to. Interesting. Over a little bit of overlap with the two reading here. Three wing two. Three of Pentacles, Two of Swords, maybe. Oh, okay. Keep trying to just draw 4 cards, but it's not happening today. Cards love to come out for me. Ew. This guy looks like Justin Trudeau to me, and he's super gross. But I won't project. Yeah, so these two seem to be a couple, or a couplet, if you will, of the energy. It's like Three of Pentacles is like teamwork makes the dream work. But you look at this guy on this particular deck, and this dude looks woozy, bro. He looks drunk. He's like, he's like an accident waiting to happen. He's gonna drop that shit on his fucking head. So I think that it's saying like enter the Two of Wands, put she's not between the swords like usual. She's put her swords aside. I think this is saying like put down the work. I mean, obviously it has to time up with when you are off work or whatever your three-ish concern is. But I think it's saying like, all right, just you need to take a break. So if you're saying that you're off work, actually be off work, be present. Take time for yourself, and maybe even start this early, like when you're not at work, don't think about work. When you're not at work, don't be secretly doing work. You know what I mean? Turn off your phone. Fucking brick that shit. Like if it's not like a most pressing concern, it can be dealt with in the morning, you know? My hair looks really good. And then we have the Seven of Swords and the King of Wands. This is an interesting dynamic here because this isn't supposed to be predicting the future, like I said, but I almost feel like, because to me, this looks like a man. Maybe there's a few pathways to growth for you three. Maybe you've been a busy, busy boy, busy lady. I don't know. King of Wands to me, he looks like, you know what I mean? He looks kind of horny, and his literally the top of his head looks like a dick. And these, if you may have noticed, these wand cards look so penile. I don't know, man. That's partly why I picked them. This is like my 80s Dynasty deck, and I've had it for a long time, but I've never done a proper reading with them. And I just thought it'd be funny to do this with. I'm kind of obsessed with these cards, though. This is okay. To me, okay, so the Seven of Swords, this doesn't, to me, this doesn't look like what the Seven of Swords usually looks like. So I interpret this card a little bit differently. This is, to me, this is like a hot and cold woman. This is like, this is almost love affair energy to me. It's like, or it's like someone who's playing with you. It's like, you want it, come and get it. But to come and get it, you're going to have to like navigate a minefield, whether that's a minefield of other suitors or a minefield of, I don't know. This person makes you work for it though. So again, there's this sort of theme of maybe like ease up on the work. So you might be a horny devil, but is this going to interfere with your rest time? And if this is you cheating, just straight up, I'm going to say like maybe put it on ice. You need to rest. Because this bitch ain't leading you anywhere that you're gonna like. You know what I mean? But he's so horny. He's got his eyes on the prize. And if this isn't a person, this wasn't intention. This I wasn't trying to do a love reading here. I'm gonna do a love reading, so but not right this second. But I almost do feel like this is a bit of a love reading. Yeah, because in a regular deck, this is like a sneaky guy. This is like a sneaky conflict avoidant guy, like dicking around. And and that can be like, you know, just being deceptive. That could be at the workplace. That could be, you know, just like a bit of a dishonest person because they don't want to get into conflict, or they want what they want, but they don't want to have to like lose all the things to get what they want. And yeah, I mean, just the way this guy looks, the way these two cards look together, this gives me horny vibes. So if it's not related to that, it might be related to something that you're horny for. It's not a person. But I feel like this is like, I think it's saying like put your dick on ice for whatever this thing is. Not exactly a pathway to growth. I think it's like the tarot's giving you a little warning. Unsubscribes by all the threes. Actually, this channel doesn't have any subscribers yet because I just learned it. And then we have the Prince of Swords and Five of Cups. Yeah, I almost think it's like, I think Five of Cups is the warning because this is regret, right? This is like, oh, I done fucked up. And she's sitting there with all her spilled milk and like this kind of shame pose. Oh, like a three. Or it's like making your mommy cry. You made your mama cry with all your misdeeds. You worked too much. You worked too hard. You were cheating on your wife, and now your mother's disappointed in you. I'm really not trying to scold you through. So I feel like it's just put it all on ice. You know what I mean? Put the phone on ice, put the work obligations on ice, put the ambition on ice, put the dick on ice just for the holidays, honey. Just for this month. Although who knows what January brings. And we do have the Prince of Swords. So I feel like it's like telling you if you do put your dick on us, um, Prince of Swords. This is a smooth talker. This is a guy who gets what he wants. He's a very three-ish character, actually, just like Justin Trudeau. So Justin Trudeau wishes he was this sexy. um, there's also like a water insignia on it, so perhaps you're a water sign. Um, but perhaps you're not. Yeah. I think it's this guy has like an air of professionalism. This guy has um credibility, authority. This guy's a charmer. So I think it's like if you want to keep that three, then yeah, I don't want to harp too much on this one. Path to growth reading for type 4. These are kind of coming out as warnings. I'll just be straight with you. It's my wing 6 perhaps is getting activated. Um, here's what not to do this December. Ooh, we got the 2 of Wands. So maybe this one's already, oops. So 2 of Wands. This is a very 4-wing 3 looking card to me. Look at him. What a little prince he is. What a pompous prince with a superiority complex he is. This is more 4-wing 3 than 4-wing 5, but it still applies to 4. Precious little prince. And it reminds me of that Robin Hood parody movie that's there's this whole scene in it where they're like, we're men in tights, tights. We roam around the forest looking for fights. We're men in tights. Like, who's gonna fight these little ponty fuckers? You know what I mean? And he's got that vibe where it's like, oh yes, I'm a prince indeed. Oh, I'm gonna get away from me. Wait, I'm waving my handkerchief. No, I don't do. Or it's like, you know, one of those knights who like slaps with a glove. Like, I almost get this vibe from this guy, and he has like no qualms about being so precious and poncy. I don't know what this means in terms of self growth though for you. Does it mean you have to dial it in? I don't think it does. Like, you're reading to me, I'm like, I don't really see self growth here. I just see maybe you being you for December. Maybe enjoying being a 4. I have no idea. If you are an actual 4, that is. Or maybe LARPing as a 4 will be fun for you for December, if you're not one. Um, and then I drew the star card. And, you know, and the star card's creative and, you know, rest and all of this. But in this particular deck, to me, it's like she's like pouring out her juices, her watery abundance. Um, you know, and this little flamingo, probably a little 7, is coming in here to sip it up. A hungry little 7. Oh, well, because she's busy looking at her reflection, or she's busy looking at the ripples she's making. She's so mesmerized with her own reflection and her own effect on others, her own effect in the world, that she's not noticing that there's some little creatures sipping up her elixir. Do you need to worry about it though? I don't think so, because you have the Ace of Cups then. Cup runneth over, but the cup never empties. Um, you know, there's a lot of water energy here. I mean, you might be a water sign, but it's also creativity, relationships, passion with the opening with the wands, passion in relationships. Maybe this is really just tending to your abundance this month. Is just maybe this is being appreciative of, you know, of your little princely kingdom, even if it's a little pauper's kingdom. Um, yeah, and you know, okay, so we have the Ace of Cups. So this could be new romance. It could be. This isn't supposed to be a prediction reading, though. It's supposed to be path to growth reading, but um, but it could just be like maybe like a new, renewed, revitalized emotional state, or like way of being. Actually, that relates to the reading I did for last week. So maybe moving into December, there's sort of like an emotional reset that's happening, and you're starting to see maybe more abundance than what you saw before. Like maybe you're starting to feel more appreciation for the things that you do have instead of what you don't have. Like maybe you're relaxing the reins on your like frustration, and maybe you're letting someone have a little sippy sip. maybe it's maybe it's a new love. Maybe it's your current love. Maybe it's gracing those around you with your endless supply of talent and um, insight and depth. It could be what a little prince you are. And then the Nine of Cups, this is satisfaction. And this is emotional satisfaction because it's the cup suit. So this could be a romantic satisfaction and appreciation, I think. Again, I just keep getting the word appreciation, even though nothing's really looking appreciative per se, other than what I'm reading into it. But, he's looking, is he looking right at her? She's looking at him. There's an appreciation happening here with a lover. And this, again, this could be if you're not with somebody. I mean, you might be with somebody over the holidays. Maybe you'll have a fling. Um, or maybe it's just people in your life. Maybe it's your mother. Do you look at your mother like that, little prince? Um, but it just seems like such abundant energy. And I think maybe there's not really a path to growth so much as like, well, frustration types are wont to appreciate. So maybe it is just like letting that gratitude flow. Because the thing is, if you are not a four who expresses all the gratitude, maybe this is the season to express the gratitude, and it will actually feel really good for you. And it will also like probably, heighten your princely status. Path to growth for 5 for December. What are some themes that a 5 could work on if they want to work on something at all? Do 5s do self-work is the question. Do 5s think they need self-work? Oh, okay. Maybe this one will be a short and sweet one. I'll just go with the 3 that popped out. What order are they in though? I think this is this one came out in 3, and I was kind of reading it as a little bit of a philanderer vibe. But for you, I almost feel like it's like self-obsession. There's a little bit of overlap with the 4 reading. This is like, if you don't make me horny, I'm not interested. What's in it for me? And I mean horny in the sense of it could just be mentally horny, you know what I mean? It's like, what's in it for me? I I'm all lubed up and ready to go for the right hole. Why am I doing this? The right mental hole. But do you pass the sniff test? Why am I doing this? What's coming out of my mouth? Death. Chopping off eggplant emojis. I don't know why this is happening. I'm just going to roll with it. I did eat today, and I've only had 1 coffee. I can't explain it. I almost want to say this is like death to the king, not death to you, but death to the king, death to this narrow focus, death to this, I only can like fixate on what I'm like with the blinders, what's within the blinders. I'm not interested in anything outside of my desires. And I think it's saying death to that. And this is a very 5 card, actually, to me. This is a very 5/5 card because it looks like the cover of a death metal album. And what I'm almost seeing is like just it's like a graveyard, right? But I almost feel like it's a graveyard of like things that never were, a graveyard of things that rotted, a graveyard of things that the 5 rejected, left behind the rejection wall. And yeah. And now look at you, you're emaciated. Look at you. Sure, you got that scythe, the scythe. But does it feel good? Of course it feels good. I'm Skeletor. But that's not a path to growth, is it? So if you're watching this, you might be curious about a path to growth. And so I think the path to growth then is the Nine of Wands. And look at this guy. You know, this card in like Rider Waite, I mean, and this is Rider Waite style, but it's usually like a guy who's kind of guarded, like he's got all these wands around him, and he does here. And but the guy in the regular deck is like wounded from it. Like it's just like it's too much. It's like he's got his barriers up and he's tired. Like it's just trying to keep people out, you know. But in this deck, because of what we just drew here, I think it's like give yourself over to temptation. Give yourself over to like letting down those rejection walls. Like look at there's like this tiger there, or this lion rather, like laying in wait and like I will just keep pointing it out, but these in the readings, but these ones are very phallic. I mean, more so than usual decks, right? Like these things are like this camera sucks, but look at the ones behind him. He kind of looks like Rob Lowe. He's kind of sexy. He's like a bad boy. And the ones behind him, it's like they're red. They look red and raw and raring to go. And they have that fire of the lion behind them. And you know, he's also lowered these wands a little bit. They're a bit lower. He's peeking over the edge of the wands. And there's a little snake crawling up the wand. I think he's looking outside of the walls. I think he's peeping outside of the walls to see what's out there. I want to draw one more card, even though I kind of love this trifecta here. I feel like this is telling you, like, cut loose a little bit this month. Like, look beyond your blinders. Find what gives you fire. Find what ignites your inner lion. Justice. Okay. Unexpected. I was kind of wanting it to go in a more salacious territory. But actually, that does keep with the theme, actually, perfectly. Look at that. Blinders off. Eyes scanning new horizons. She is existing in the light and the dark, the moon and the sun. She sees everything. Yin yang. It is not just a curated, one-sided experience anymore. It is everything. Ooh. And you know, the whole five, fear of being like eaten up by the abyss, the universe, the world coming for you if you don't have your hyper specific this and that, your competency, if you let people in, they're gonna devour you like little maggots. I think you might be having cabin fever is almost the vibe I'm getting. It's like, or if you're not getting cabin fever, it might be too strong for a 5, but you might be getting just like that urge to, all right, maybe it's like an urge to like cut out something that you've been hyper fixated on and change directions, but that's not really a path to growth. So I almost say that this, because this is a path to growth reading, it would be more like you're actively looking outside. You're opening those blinders up and you're allowing other experiences in. So because something might, you know, activate this lion, this latent lion, Roblo. And then you can find your next obsession, or it will just give you like a wider world view. It'll give you like a wider map with which to operate. And probably inform something that you weren't seeing, because if your focus is always narrow, then you're actually not going to be like inventive in any, you know what I mean? It's like you can overdo it to the point where you're just following like a tread path where there's no, it's like, well, I used to always wonder. I used to go to these free talks at a university in the city I lived in, and about space. And I used to always ask questions, things like, well, why don't we just send a bunch of shit to space, a bunch of bacteria? Why don't we just try to create life on all these other planets? Oh, well, that is like unethical or something. But like now I just don't even think space is real. But where was I going with that? But I almost think it's like that to me, it's like you have to be willing to get polluted. You have to be willing to get a little contaminated. You have to be willing to get a little dirty, to have your seed sucked up by somebody else a little bit in order to have like the full experience that you're actually looking for. Bam! That was the insight. That's the path to growth. Path to growth for Enneagram 6. Oh, nope. That horny ass king keeps coming out, but I'm pretty sure that was a mistake. So we'll see if he comes out again. Then it's just he's coming out. He's horny. He wants in everybody's readings, but we'll see. Okay. Nope, he didn't come out again. But interesting. So we have the sun and the moon together. Ooh, there's a little bit of polarity happening this Christmas for the sixes. There's a little bit of duality. Oh, the Hanged Man, okay. Oh, perfect. Do I need to draw another one? Do I need another? Is there anything else? The pathway to growth, 4 sixes. Or are they good? Oh, no, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a nice way to end it, okay. Gotta get your treat for all that hard work you do, right? So for your vibe, I have the sun and the moon. Of course, because you're a 6, right? You are both phobic and counterphobic. You are both a rebel, but you also have a cause. You are with the tribe, but you are a lone wolf. So this is you. Child, happy, wholesome. This looks like a Raffi cover album or something, like a Bob Ross picture or something, like a Baby Beluga, like 70s or 80s like kids show. And then we have the moon, and this is he's like coming out to the moon at night, like the little crayfish, the crawfish, whatever it is, the lobster. I think it's crayfish. Oh, someone who's really into tarot just cringed for me in that moment. um It's almost like I see this little guy's coming out. He's like trying to move out of this almost worship of the moon in the sense of the negative, the fear, the illusion, needing to know the truth, or like glomming on to like something, anything within this like illusory world that we live in. It's almost like he's reaching out, begging for it, give it to me. And the sun is just like, bro, like I just want to be like, I just want to be happy, bro. Stop. Bro, stop. Like stop fixating on this negativity. Stop fixating on the news. Stop fixating on what other people are doing. Stop fixating on the cycle, stop, like it's just going to keep going around and around and around and around and around, so it doesn't even matter. Like, yes, there are real world things to pay attention to, but it's like same, you know what I mean? It's like the same book over and over and over again. You can like go back into the pond and have a little fun. You can close your eyes and go to sleep. You can rest. You can stop worrying. The sun will come out tomorrow. Unless they've really chemtrailed the skies that day, which sometimes they do. So I feel like there's this sort of needing to bring into wholeness. And I would say like 6 is the most dual type. So this makes sense to me as a path to growth for like every month, but maybe especially December, if something's coming up for you, especially, you know, things are spicy. So my things might be coming up with, family or, gatherings, work gatherings, family gatherings, having to go to parties with your significant other, doing all of that endless nightmarish Christmas shit. The Hanged Man. So I want to say is almost like this, if this kind of like back and forth is like, it's almost like wearing you out on some level. And so I say it's like the Hanged Man is like, this dude's like praying, he's meditating, he's getting right with himself, he's taking a break from the polarity, he can't face it anymore, he just can't deal with it anymore, the swinging back and forth, the mania, the bipolar sort of energy of this, if this resonates with you, of like, it's fine, it's fine, I'm gonna go party, my life's over, it's fine. Or however that shows up for you, I feel like this is the advice right here. Take the middle path. Take the middle path, and if you don't even know how to take the middle path, just don't engage with the other paths, just be with yourself, just be in your little hidey hole, or hang in there, like that cat poster, hang in there. Yeah, that's you this week, or this month rather. This is the advice for you, six, a timeless piece of advice for six. And the high priestess, which I love because this ties us together so perfectly, she is in between dualities. She has mastered both the sun and the moon. She has mastered the black and the white, the right and the left, the wrong and the, I mean, there are no right and wrongs, right? She's mastered it. And she's also a student. And in this deck specifically, it's like there's like the big book and there's the big moon over the book. And I feel like there's like a scholar vibe to this particular image of it, to me at least. It's like she's learning something this month. She's, if she feels like she can't control her outside reality, or the swinging back and forth is too much, maybe she picks, all right, I'm going to put this fucking energy into something productive that has nothing to do with these dualities that I'm dealing with, and I'm just going to put it onto something that I can just focus on, that pulls me out of my swinging, my thoughts, my whatever. So maybe there's something, and it doesn't even have to be like you're taking a class or something. You can just be like learning something helpful, studying something, reading, writing, being creative. But I really do think actually putting your energy into learning things, unless you're doing it in a manic seven way, which I'm guilty of, I think it can be just very useful and like calming and grounding to put your focus onto something outside of yourself that doesn't relate to fears or scarcity or, um, any kind of panic. It's where you're just doing it for yourself, maybe. And then you do that, right? And you get the Lovers. And this is a steamy card. Look at this. In this particular deck, I feel like this is the boy from the wrong side of the tracks, or the girl from the wrong side of the tracks. And there's something very sexy about this, where it's kind of like, it's almost like, I feel like what it's telling me is like, if you want this kind of Prince Charming 80s movie ending, where you get the boy, where you get the girl, where you finally get like whatever it is that you're searching for, like how you do it is just coming back to your center, calming the fuck down, and maybe like stop being in that need energy or the scarcity energy or that fear or confusion. It's like just the middle path, coming back to yourself, and then you get, I mean, you don't want to be like, and then I'll get the reward, but I feel like this is a byproduct. Will this happen in December? I don't know. Might happen in January, might happen in the new year. But I think what it's saying is like, oh, and also I just realized there's like this golden thread between them. So this could, even if this doesn't mean like, you end up dating somebody or whatever, and you might already be with somebody, but it does look like they're two halves, right? It's like two soulmates coming together. So this could just be with yourself, like unity within yourself, self-love, making love to yourself. Maybe that's your song for the month of December. When I think about myself, I touch myself. Rewrite that story. Be the bad boy and be the vulnerable little princess. Be everything that you need. Be that person. Come into wholeness, come into unity. Love yourself. Yeah, I want to say at the very end of this, this is a self love reading. Love yourself. Show yourself love. Doesn't have to be hard. Just be. Just be. Love yourself, accept yourself, forgive yourself. Okay? Okay, path to growth for the month of December for Enneagram 7, which is what I am. What kind of horrors should I lean into this month? What kind of sevens lean into this? Oh, when I'm stabbing myself with this card. Ooh, 5 of Cups. Have you been feeling like a poor me? 7. Have you been in scarcity? I feel like I've been moving out of that actually. So yeah, it's like kind of looking like, okay, I kind of like this actually. There's a dance happening here. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I almost feel like it's that kind of thing. So we have 5 of Cups, and yeah, like we're a positive type, but we're also a frustration type. We can be a poor me type, especially 7 wing 6 over 7 wing 8. I would say if things aren't working out to our ideal, especially if you have extra reactive or even a 9 gut. Sometimes we're not always so positive. So this is looking like the vibe to move out of. If you've been in this vibe, if you've been focused on lack or what's not going right, what you don't have. Again, I know that's sort of out of the ordinary for 7, so maybe this won't be for everybody. And then the 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups is like possibilities. There's lots to choose from, but not all of them are that great of options, right? And in this particular card, look at him. He's like distraught over it. This almost speaks to me of scattered energy. And he's just like it's just too much for him. Yeah, and I feel like it's like maybe it's even like I get this sometimes, so I don't know if this will resonate with other 7s, but sometimes I fall into these like almost depressions over too many options. Or it's like, oh, I could do this, but I could do that. Oh, but if I do that, then I can't do this. And it's like, which one should I put my energy into? Which one will actually be the one that I really am happy that I leaned into? And then you lean into something and you're like, no, that wasn't it. Like there's a real frustration pattern that can play out. I think especially if you're a 7 wing 6 over 7 wing 8, like I said. Although I think this probably happens to 7 wing 8s on like a much lesser level. So I almost feel like that's the energy. It's like, God, what thing do I pick though? It's like you said to focus, and I have said to focus. It comes up in a lot of the 7 readings, but I don't know which one. I don't like, and maybe, like maybe I don't know this option, but this option or this option or this option. Like I don't fucking know, like it could be that energy. So because this is a path to growth reading, we'll see. Well, okay, what's be a path to growth that? 6 of Pentacles. This is a funny one. Usually I don't see this card usually to me is like, it's usually there's 2 people, there's like, or 3 people, there's like a power dynamic happening financially. But this one is like actually, I think the meaning of the 6 of Pentacles, what it's supposed to be, but doesn't ever look like to me, which is like generosity. It's just like celebration, joy, sharing, which I think could be like a 70 card actually in this spread or in this deck. But he almost has a Mr. Rogers vibe to him where he's like, ah! And he does have, you know what? But he does have 6 Pentacles up in the air and he's holding all of them up. Is this bad advice? I'm about to give you potentially bad advice, 7. I'm about to potentially give you really bad advice. So I feel like this is the advice I want to hear. Getting a reading on 7s by a 7, not always turning out well. Because we have There's something going on here. Okay, all the options. But I want to do all of the things. I want to share all of my gifts. I want to buy all of the Christmas presents for myself. However, this is showing up for you. Maybe it's lovers. Maybe it's, you know, can be overspending. It can be giving, creating, can be projects, creative projects. It could be juggling too many, I don't know, like work things, too many social things, too many sexy things. Are you dating 6 people? Ugh. Put that pooch on ice. Um, but it's like yeah, like so like the vibe is like, oh, too many options. I don't know which one to pick. I'm so miserable. Like, why do I have to pick one? Or like you're trying to juggle them and like, one of them spilled over, one of them like they're I don't know. But it's almost like maybe some kind of like new energy strikes. Although I know that like astrologically we're going to Mercury retrograde the middle to late of December, so I don't know if this energy will wane, but there is this kind of vibe. Well, maybe actually this card is when Mercury hits. But I want to say it's almost like I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to get after everything. The Eight of Wands. Usually I think that this is just like the shooting wands, like in a direction, pick a direction and just go for it with all your might. And this guy's like Jackie Chan style. Yeah, through the sky. He's getting after it. Lightning, lightning, lightning. This honestly feels like, I don't know if I've said this in 7 readings before, but I always think of this myself where it's like I'm gonna take up every lane. But then there's this guy who's like hiding from the sword. He's like, no, like make it stop. There's too many things. Is this you or is this your enemy? Is this a competitor? Is this the people around you who can't deal with your ADHD madness? This could be other people, to be honest. Or this could be you. It could be literally like you being like, you know, I'm not picking one thing. I'm doing everything. And I'm excited about it and I'm getting after it and I'm gonna do it anyways. Wow. And oh no, you just stabbed yourself twice. But it ends with the Seven of Swords. So there might be a dance happening this month. A dance happening where like because okay, Seven of Wands, well, there's a lot of sevens here, 2 sevens rather. Um, it's almost like I want to say it's like you're distraught. You've been distraught trying to pick a thing and it's not working. Or it's like you've been picking things and they're not like exactly what you're wanting, or you're just like stressed out about juggling stuff. But then it's like you suddenly get this like renewed energy and you're like, fuck, I'm gonna do it all. And like you just like maybe your week opens up. Maybe you just have this like brilliant idea of how to do everything at once. Maybe you just, you know what I mean? Like something happens where you're able to like just get after it and you're like, I'm gonna do it all. And then shit hits the fan and you realize, okay, some of those were a bad idea, or honestly, this could be another person in your life just bearing the suffering of your madness. But it could be you yourself just realizing, oh, some of those didn't work out. Just do what you got to do this month. Just do what you got to do. Your path to growth will come through doing. So I don't think you're going to be able to actually anticipate until you're in action, until you are in flight, what's not working and what is. And then you just have to make peace with that way of learning. If that's your way of learning, then that's your way of learning. That's my way of learning. I abandon things sometimes after I start them. Because then you become Seven of Wands. And look, he's not a master of like 2 wands. He's a master 7. He's got 6 wands coming at him. But he might pick the one thing. He might try 7 things. He might try 9 things. He might try 8 things. He might try 6 things. But maybe it's like the cream rises to the crop. No, the cream of the crop rises. The cream rises to the top of the cafe au lait. You know what I mean? So either he then makes the decision to swat away these other options, and he finally, oh, this is the thing. This is the thing. You know, it was a journey. It took me all fucking year, but I found my thing. Or this could be you just like, yeah, I mean, like, that's not technically what this card means. This card technically means more like people are coming at you. They're coming at you with their accusations. They're coming at you with whatever that thing is in your life that you probably don't want. Maybe it's obligations, maybe it's tasks, maybe it's this stuff, but he's definitely navigating it. So it could be like you're pissing people off with everything you're doing, and you're just like, don't care, get away from me, you fucking losers, I don't care. This is what I'm doing. I'm waving my magic wand and I dun 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 dun. So I don't know, one of those. But what I got from this is just say fuck it and just go for it and just learn trial by error and just don't judge yourself for it. I guess don't worry about it. Don't hold any kind of like ego weight around it. It just is what it is. This is the process. If you're trying to like line to 1, line to 5, and it's just like backfiring, then just lean into the chaos for the rest of the month and just accept things as they are and just go for whatever and throw the spaghetti at the wall, and you know, you'll see what spaghetti sticks and what doesn't. And then you can go into 2024 with whatever spaghetti is still standing. And that might actually feel really exciting for you. Okay, this is for, oh, they're already coming out for type 8. Path to growth for type 8. The Emperor and a King of Pentacles. It's kind of a 8 vibe. We also have the High Priestess, and we have the 8 of Swords and the Hermit. But this one came out first, the High Priestess. And she's non-dualistic. She's integrated. She's integrated her shadow. And so for 8, that would mean being more vulnerable, being more comfortable with your vulnerable side, being more comfortable with your softer side, letting down your walls, sharing, opening your fortress up to be invaded, you know, allowing your back to be potentially stabbed. It's very scary, isn't it? But this is speaking of that moving out of duality. So I think that's encouraging you to lean into that softness, that vulnerability, that innocence that you already have, but that you overcompensate for, right? To protect yourself. It can be tough. It can be tough. How do you do that? Well, let's see. We have the Emperor. We have the 8 of Swords. This is interesting because it speaks to a dynamic with another person in this particular deck, not usually. King of Pentacles and the Hermit. So the Emperor, like, he's like an authority figure, right? He's like the boss, kind of. And he looks really dorky in this deck, though. He's got like a weirdly long neck, and he almost looks like a woman in drag or something. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna read into this. This card just looks really weird to me. I love the art of this deck, but this guy kind of looks like a woman with a beard and a wig on, and he's got his scepter and his wand, or he's got his like his ball and his wand out in front of him, like, I'm a man, right? See, I'm a man. I'm a man. This gives me overcompensating energy. This gives me overcompensating energy. I have to prove something. I'm a man. So, you know, but we're trying to move out of that with the 8 stuff. We're trying to move out of that overcompensating energy. Because as you can see, it doesn't not look like he's overcompensating. I don't believe that this is a masculine man. I don't believe that this dude's strong, even though that's what the Emperor means. I'm not buying it from this guy, are you? I'm not buying it. Because, like, you know, truly to inhabit your masculinity, you don't need to put your wand and ball out. You don't need to put them on display. You don't need to sit on a throne. You know, if you're a woman watching this, I think you still get the vibe of what I'm talking about. Because 8's a very masculine type, energetically. It's an assertive type. And then we have the Eight of Swords. And Eight of Swords is like a mental prison, a prison of your own creation. So this could relate to like feeling like you have to prove something still, or feeling like you um, have to overcompensate on some level. And obviously the path is away from that, because that's what this reading's for December and for always, timeless. Um, but but this looks like a relationship dynamic to me. I mean, this could literally be your fears of another person, or it's like you're with like the vibe I get from this is almost like you're trying to protect yourself, you're trying to protect your heart, you're trying to protect your boundaries, your space, your whatever. And so you're kind of going around in circles with this person in these swords. It's like no one's really getting ahead. Like no one's happy in this relationship because there's no compromise, there's no vulnerability, there's no give and take. It's just like a person who keeps doing their pattern in a circle, like around and around they go. And they're not even looking at each other. They're both miserable and they're not looking at each other. And I think it's because like the one person is like overcompensating and they don't want to be hurt and they don't want to put themselves out there. They don't want to risk being rejected or betrayed. And then the other person's like, maybe feeling that how do I how do I get in? Like how do I actually have a relationship with a person who always has their back turned to me? And the problem with turning your back to someone is that they can pick up a sword and fucking stab you with it. So by you behaving that way, you are setting yourself up for betrayal. You are setting yourself up for abandonment and rejection because because you're literally behaving as if it's already determined. And this could be in love, this could be a friendship, this could be in the workplace, um, your family, this could be a metaphor of just your general vibe. But then we have the King of Pentacles. And he's a happy king in this deck. He's a friendly guy. He's generous. He's got one hand out. He's like offering the pentacle. He's like, okay, I got my pentacle. And we got the Capricorn here. And this one, I don't know, is this an Aries? I think this is an Aries ram. And then we have the Capricorn out here on the hill. And he's like being more generous with his assumptions of people. He's being more generous in general. He's not worried about running out of money, and whatever that resource is to you, like however that's showing up metaphorically, it's like it could be real money though, too. It could be a money situation, but it's like he's not in scarcity. He's okay. Yep, I made sure I had enough for this. Yep, I always donate to charity, so here's my allowance for the year or whatever. It's like he's good. He's charitable. He's not worried about being screwed over because he's good. He's confident. He's embodied. And you'll notice he has like a much more I mean, he's not a very sexy king either, but or whatever leader, but um this guy looks like he's a fake king, you know what I mean? Like a fake emperor, a fake ruler. And this guy, he looks like legit. He looks comfortable. He looks, he's playing the part. He's not trying to prove anything. And we have the Hermit. And this deck, the Hermit, to me is like he's one of those like spiritual hippie, Tulum, Mexico guys who are like, I hold my seed, I don't come. I never come because it contains my life force. But there's like a sense of abundance with him too. It's like he's controlled, he's self-disciplined, but he trusts that there's enough because he's got enough inside. He's got it in his lantern. He also knows that it's outside of him. It's in the sky. It's in the earth. Like he has abundance. He has abundance. He doesn't need to gatekeep it. He's okay putting it outside of it. It's okay. He's taken like his precious, whatever your eight precious is, whether that's your heart, whether that's your money situation, whatever that is. It's like he's made it less important to him by putting it outside of himself. He's taken his light, that precious, and he's taken it outside. It's just there because he trusts there's more. There's more. There's more where that came from. If someone prances along and steals it, fucks him over, he'll get more. It's fine. I think that's the message for you, eight. I mean, this could also be turning inward, and this might require you turning inward and being with yourself and doing like affirmations like, I am enough, I have enough, I will always be enough, I will always have enough, I do enough, I always do enough. No, like no one can replace me, I'm irreplaceable. Something of that nature, breathing into those words. I'm lovable. And then whatever tightness around your this thing that's your that causes you to behave in an overcompensatory way, you no longer have to compensate for, because it just is. You don't need to prove it. It just is. You just embody it. Like the King of Pentacles just embodies it. He doesn't need to prove anything. He just is. So yeah, I think that's your message for this month, 8. So this is your path to growth for December 9. So 4 of Pentacles speaks to, can be like scarcity in the material realm. So the 3D realm, money, objects, property, just things, stuff. I mean, it could manifest in health or something, but I think just based on how the sort of one ends, which is like, he's like, the Emperor can be like the ruler of the material world in some way. So I almost want to say it's like, if you've been not to call you out, if this isn't you, don't worry about it, but it might show up for you in different ways. If you've been like almost like overspending, I want to say, or like not overspending, but like it's like numbing yourself out with material things, which yeah, okay, that could be overspending, like buying too much shit, or um or like seeking refuge in like the material realm, and that could be like numbing oneself out, you know. It's like lying on the couch all day eating chips and watching Netflix. Or it could be like buying stuff to make yourself feel better, or could even be like coveting other people's, if you don't feel like you're measuring up or you have enough, or because there's kind of a weird dynamic going on here that sort of has this like old rich man and like disappointed escort vibes. So it could even be like you're looking around and you're just like, ugh, no, I don't like any of this, and then you go seek something else. Or it's like maybe just like even that feeling of like, this isn't really what I wanted, or this isn't really, it's not really coming up how I wanted. And maybe like there can be even like more of a pull to acquire more sometimes. And I think this time of year, December too, it can like, because December is all about like things, buying things, presents, like food, stuffing, sales, money, you know, it can get a little bit much. So passive growth. So we have the Princess of Wands, and she's like channeling into her passion. She kind of looks like a 9-wing 8 actually to me, a little bit, but she's like, it's like she's like a very like opposite energy to this. Almost, maybe she almost looks like her in some way, because it's like maybe she's like, this is disappointing me. I'm not, like, it even could be the converse of that, where like somebody, like maybe you're even with someone who's obsessed with things, and so if this isn't you, then it could be the person you're with is obsessed with things, and you're just like make it end. And the 9-wing 8 Princess of Wands, I'm now just calling it 9-wing 8, she's more in touch with her passion, what lights her up. She likes luxury, yes, she likes the material world, sure, but it's all about her in connection to it. It's all about her relation, her emotional. It's like just about amplifying what she already has. She's an abundant, sun worshiping desert hippie. She doesn't need anything, all right. She's got her little backpack. She's got her crystals. She's got she's got her divining runes. She's got a granola bar and some kombucha, and she's good, honey. I don't need all of I don't need all of this, old man. Like, so it could be like telling you that's either your vibe, or it's like lean into that vibe of less is more, more focusing on your internal versus external. And that's mirrored the internal versus external with the Hermit. And this guy is like he's also another kind of hippie card, like in this deck. He looks like, I said in the 8 reading, but he looks like the kind of guy who's like withholds his seed, who like doesn't come for 4 months to retain his life force. And so I think it's like almost this appreciating what you already have and seeing that the abundance isn't external, like seeing that the abundance is coming from within you, that it comes from, your passion, your desire, your what lights you up, your creativity, like maybe not ambition, but like in that way of ambition, but it's like what you know what I mean? It's like what turns you on, what gets you out of bed, what gets you moving. If you've been too bogged down in the material world, whether it's by your own hand or by somebody else's, where you're just sort of swept up in their like materialistic lifestyle, I think it's like telling you to like you already have enough. You don't need to buy more, or you don't need to like just because somebody else around you is all about stuff doesn't mean you have to be all about stuff. Focus in on that inner light and growing that inner abundance and embodying that inner abundance and being present too, because this is a self-discipline card, self-mastery, self-discipline. So what makes you feel this way? That has nothing to do with the material world. It could be like going for walks along the lake or the beach, the ocean. It could be being out in nature. It could be just being creative, spending time alone, meditating, whatever. It could just be making sure that you have enough time for just you and your own world, and you're not taking on everybody else's desires or needs, or like worrying about what are you going to buy somebody for Christmas, or just putting yourself first, I guess. And putting yourself first outside of like if there's any sort of these materialistic um kind of relationships you have, or putting yourself first in terms of putting yourself above these material things that you think you need because you don't. An Ace of Swords, so that's like cutting away, starting afresh, new energy. This is like conquering whatever this issue is. And just even looking at this, it's like chop, 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 chop. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. Maybe even this Christmas, maybe give a bunch of your old shit to people for presents. Maybe you don't need to buy anything else. If you've been in lack because of like the economy or something, like, can you just make gifts? Can you repurpose things that you already have? Like, and then you're getting rid of stuff. Yeah, I have this like energy of like getting rid of stuff for this. And because we have the emperor who becomes like the master of the material world, the emperor of that domain, it's like I think it's almost like not saying like you will have all the stuff and be the king of the pile of junk. It's like you will just like become master of your relationship to stuff. This is such a bland I'm sorry. It's like, is this my energy? I am feeling kind of tired at this point, maybe. But it's like if you're in a relationship with someone who's very materialistic, or you've been sort of falling into materialistic things, or even just patterns of, again, like I said, self-numbing through things, or even just like eating a lot, or like buying yourself a bunch of shit, or like I don't know, having these kind of like material experiences, or you're with someone like that. I think it's just saying like you cut away, cut away. What is important here? What is really needed? Is this necessary? And then um you embody that inner abundance, and that's what leads you to becoming master of that. And then it's like you just become, it's not even a thing you're gonna think about anymore. It's like, oh, okay, I don't need to rely on these material things. I have inner abundance. If you're with someone who's obsessed with material things, maybe they're, I don't know, maybe that's not your vibe. Or maybe you are able to bring something that's more, you know, related to the spirit, to the internal fire, the passion to the relationship, instead of these external material expectations, if you will. So I feel like this is like a good month for decluttering anyways, even though it's like not spring. I feel like by the end of the year, it's almost like a good, I'm just making this up, but it actually feels right to me as I make it up. It's like a good time to get rid of shit, to purge shit. It's like start the year in a new energy. What isn't serving you anymore, get rid of it, give it away. Get more intentional about the things that inhabit your life, and maybe even the people.